Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today? I got Deborah from coastal North Carolina and Becky from Indy, Elaine from Rhode Island, my sister with what is that? Is that a ghost or a baseball hat? Backwards. I don't know what that is. We can just get that girl from Missouri. Nope, I'm here. Let me see. Katie from San Diego. Hello, Terry. So glad I made it here tonight on time. Me too. And Katie, hello. I already said hello. What's everybody up to? Is everybody enjoying the summer, enjoying the weather, enjoying whatever there is to enjoy? Amanda, hello. Debbie from Colorado, hello. What's everybody up to for tomorrow? Tomorrow's the 4th of July. Is anybody doing anything? Ken and Amy from Hot Springs, North Carolina. Hello, Mountainside Cabins and Homestead. And Jackie Comer from Australia. Good night, nurse. What is it, like early in the morning there? Hey, just watching your last upload. Awesome. Not so granola. Interesting. To divulge the meaning behind your channel name. I'm curious about it. Finally got my shelf. I don't know if I had it last time I was going live or not. Maine says hello. Well, hello, Maine. 10:30. Okay. So but I think you're like 10:30 tomorrow. So you're like, math that. What's that, like 15 hours ahead of me? Starting over Homestead from Mississippi. Hello. It's finally starting to feel like summer here in San Diego. Yeah, we are definitely in summer here in Missouri, as you can tell by the tank top. Yeah, I've been doing all kinds of stuff outside, gardening, and what did I do today? Fed all the animals. I did my hour of moving dirt this afternoon, because I had to edit and upload that video earlier today. So spent the morning inside, and then I spent the blistering hot high noon outside moving dirt. Hot and humid here in Nebraska too. The humidity is actually not that bad these last couple of days. It's been surprisingly not terrible, but yeah, apparently everybody else is getting all the humidity has been sucked over to the East Coast. From what I hear, it's raining like crazy there. And my first tomatoes today. That is exciting, Trina. That's awesome. Dog mommy Deb from Louisiana. I love your new family member, Pepper. She's so cute, right? She's still kind of aloof, but she comes around, so we figured we'd name her. She generally comes around a lot now, and I don't think she's got any other home. So, yeah. So we're just including her in. I think the boy cats probably brought her in, and she was lured by them, but pretty sure she's spayed, because at this point she would have had kittens. I can assure you of that. That is my reminder to get coffee that I accidentally snoozed. Yes. Tomatoes are amazing. I got like 3 cherry tomatoes and 1 small regular tomato today. So that was awesome. And I got a bunch of green beans and peppers yesterday. And I can't think of what else. Cucumbers almost ready. Hopefully the armadillos don't get them before I do, because I'll be really mad. Yep, downpours off and on. I need a clear day to work on my garden. Smoke coming down from Canada. Yep, quite a few of my my online friends are dealing with that up in Michigan. So I definitely know what you're talking about. And we used to get that probably once or twice a year when I lived in Washington, especially when I moved up north to like Mount Vernon area. It was a lot of smoke every year. It was crazy. So I definitely know what y'all are dealing with. But I'm very thankful that we don't have to deal with that here. Are armadillos like raccoons? Do they bite? I have no idea. I just know they roll in a ball when you approach them. And yeah, and they like to root. They like to root things, and they dig things up. They like dig in the ground for like worms and stuff like that. But they also dig in the garden for radishes. They like radishes. I know that. Are they like a giant potato bug? Yeah, they're totally like a giant potato bug. Absolutely. Hello, Ann Seaton. How you doing? Yeah. So I got a couple of fermenting projects in the works. I'm going to do a kombucha video. I'll pass on the armadillos. Me too. They have leprosy, or they can carry leprosy. I don't know if they all have it. The only bite when you don't give them the Lone Star beer. That's funny. Yeah, so I have to make a bunch of kombucha. I've been selling kombucha at the market and it's been doing so well. I had to trade out my kombucha and like make a new batch sooner than I normally would. And then, as a consequence, all 15 out of 16 of them molded. So that was pretty devastating. Now I don't have kombucha for like 2 or 3 weeks. But I did do some research and figured out kind of what I did wrong because I've always done 1 cup of starter tea and about a month at least worth of the first fermentation. And I have been doing research. And a lot of people say you can change it out as early as a week. And that's why I did it after like 2 weeks. I was like, okay, that's totally cool. But I think from what I'm gathering, most people who do it earlier add in 2 cups of starter tea. So I'm going to start doing that. And I'm going to split off that one that I have into as many containers as possible. I think I can get 6 out of it. So that was really crappy. Honestly, that was super duper frustrating. So my kombucha molded too. I was bummed. Yep. So from now on, I'm just going to do the set aside 2 cups of starter tea per gallon. And then I should be good to process it like every other week or so. Because I have noticed that most people at the market like it a little bit more on the sweet side. So I like it very fermented. I like to do at least a month in the first fermentation, but a lot of people just don't care for that the extra acidity. So just get on a schedule. Hi from Southern Colorado. What do you think about Southern Missouri after a year? I think that I really like it. I think that the bugs suck. I'm paranoid about snakes and bugs. But other than that, it's great. I've met some awesome people here. I have some fantastic friends. The taxes suck. Definitely. I can't stand the fact that the state government tracks everything that you have. Like you even have to claim how many chickens you have on your yearly taxes. And I'm like, how's that in your business? Like it was really stupid. It is really stupid. But overall, I think it's fantastic. We have been brewing Jun. Watched your video from Abundance Plus doing the double ferment too. Wow, it's amazing. Yeah, I got some Jun right down here. I need to actually change it out and start like producing it and like selling it. Devastating. It definitely was devastating. I like my boots super strong. My husband says it keeps hair on his chest. It'll do that. It can definitely get pretty darn strong. Checked in for months. How are you? I'm great. How are you doing, Homestead? Jen, I do feel like it's been a hot minute since I've seen you on here, but I'm glad you're able to join us today. So my fermenting projects, I've got the kombucha that I need to do, but I also am planning on doing some dilly beans, some hot sauce, like some jalapeno hot sauce, and what else? What was the other thing? I think I'm going to try like a beet sauerkraut. Make a video on that one for you guys. I don't claim any of my animals on my taxes. Yeah, that's probably a smart plan. But yeah, that's probably a better plan than I had. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like I don't understand why such a freedom-loving state does these other things that are just so like anti-freedom and anti, personal liberty. Yeah. My first 2 tries at kombucha have molded, and I'm waiting to invest in a heaters that are probably going to work. I hope it works for you. Definitely let me know. I make way too much kombucha to be able to afford heaters for each jar. I do like 20 gallons of it, so that's a little bit too much for me. I was waiting for your radish fermentation, but I guess you didn't get any due to the animals. How long do they let them ferment? As long as until it tastes like what you like. You have to bear in mind the longer you ferment it for, the less of the bite it's going to have. Like, how radishes kind of have that spicy bite to them. It's pretty much gone when you ferment it. So beyond that, it's just, whenever it gets to the flavor or that you like, when it starts to smell kind of sour and you enjoy the smell of it, then you just taste it. Do I like it? Yes. Put it in the fridge. No, I want to let it keep going. Let it keep going. Just watch the top for mold and calm yeast. And yeah, I'm not probably not going to get a radish video probably until the fall, unfortunately, because stupid animals, giant potato bug animals. I'm getting ready to do some cucumber kimchi. I really love that stuff. Kraut on the list after the cucumber kimchi. Yeah, cucumber kimchi is in the beginning of the year, it was definitely the number one seller, and I made a ridiculous amount of it, and then all of a sudden it's not selling as much anymore. So maybe it's a seasonal kind of thing. Like people just really like it in the spring. I don't know. I do not know. Yawning. Sorry. I didn't get much sleep last night. I got insomnia. So it got the better of me last night, and the valerian root did not do its thing. At least not until like 1:30 in the morning. It was a late night. I've been making kefir from our raw sheep's milk. Interesting. And that has been going well too. Thanks for all the info you give us to help us get going. Got the grains from Etsy. Awesome. Yeah, that's where I get all my cultures and stuff from. It's because you can go and you can search for the ingredients that they use to make it. Like if you want to find somebody that even made it with raw sheep's milk, I'm sure you could probably find one. But making sure that they're raw or organic, depending on whatever culture that you're using. I really like it. And plus, you can read through all the reviews and people will give feedback as to how good the grains are. You can ask questions. So I just think it's a great place to get stuff. Cucumber kimchi. I've never heard of it, but it sounds great. It is really good. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Carmen, are you going to the Doug and Stacy event? Don't you live close to that? Or at least kind of close to that? Are you going there? I started fermenting kohlrabi pickles yesterday. That sounds pretty darn tasty, Diane. That would be good. I like what I like all the time. Yep. Mm-hmm. You like it. That's how I do it. Because like the ADHD hyperfixation kind of thing, it's like I just like one thing and then I'll eat it for like 2 weeks straight and then I move on to something else because it like loses its dopamine abilities. So that's pretty common. What does kohlrabi taste like? I am curious. Isn't it like almost cabbagey? I don't know if I've ever had like just straight kohlrabi. I've grown it, but I didn't do anything with it. I only got a few bulbs. Pickled red onions taste better than fermented. Oh, I agree 100%. I don't care for fermented onions. Yeah, it's like 10 miles from my house. So you are going? Is that a yes, you're going? My potatoes are growing like crazy. I used to have insomnia when I was a kid. Potatoes are growing like crazy. I used to have insomnia when I was a kid. Turned around in my bed and slept weird. Yeah, my kid does that. But I think it was just because I could look out the window. I'm not sure. Yeah, no, my adult now son, he's like that. He's just all over the place. Like he is the most active sleeper you will ever come across. It is insane. Even to this day, it's crazy. Kohlrabi tastes like cabbage with the texture of an apple. It's about what I figured it would be. Bug bites all over the place. So many bugs. So many bugs. I do fermented over pickled for the health benefits. I do too for the most part with most things, but some things like onions, like I just won't eat fermented onions. So why make fermented onions? Because they're really just bland and boring. But already signed up for it. Me too. I got a ticket for it too. I thought you were pretty close to it, but I haven't made any other arrangements other than that. I was thinking about not going because of the timing of it, but one of my other friends is going, and so I was like, maybe I'll try and figure out how to go. So I'm not too sure. I'll most likely go, but I'm not 100% sure yet. I do have the ticket though. Yeah, but like with most things like dilly beans, like why not just pickle them pardon me, ferment them because they're just freaking delicious. And then like Sauerkraut, obviously, it's just a waste of time if you don't have it, fermented. But some things, like I just don't care for it. I just won't do it, But pickled onions are frickin' delicious, but fermented is just bland and boring. It's like eating straw. I don't know why, but maybe I need to just try not fermenting it for quite as long. But then the fermenting won't be as active, so it's kind of like, why bother, So I don't know. I'm fiddling. I don't know what happened to my fidget spinner. I had a fidget spinner to keep me from making noise, but this tiny little kid's barrette that I found is doing the trick. I had it on. I rolled one time. I had a whole bunch of these little things. I think it was from somebody that I used to know, and I remember once upon a time I rolled up all my balls of yarn, and I rolled up all my balls of yarn, and I put all these little barrettes in it. And so I just opened up a ball. I opened up a ball. What was it for? For trellising, and for trellising my tomatoes up. And this was on it. So, like, you really needed to know that. It's not too loud. Yeah, this one's pretty quiet. So, first time I caught a live. Welcome, Tess. Maybe you could. That could make the decision a little bit easier. That would be kind of cool, Carmen. That'd be fun. I made coffee kombucha. I did too, and it all molded. Amazing, and it still has a couple more days to go, but it's yummy. I was worried it would be too kombucha-y, but it's like a great cold brew. Interesting. I like that. I was kind of worried about that too. I've always been told, not always been told, in the research that I have done recently, I don't know why I said that, a lot of people say that it is significantly better after you do the second ferment. Like after the first ferment, it's not so great, but when you do the second ferment, that's where it really starts to shine. How long, Trina, did you do the first fermentation for? I'm very curious. Coffee kombucha. Oh man, I'm missing out. Need to find that info. You basically just use like brewed coffee instead of the black tea, and other than that, you make it the same. Coffee kombucha, heck yeah. I was going to sell it at the farmers market and other festivals like the one that I'm going to tomorrow, but I don't have any because it all molded. Curious about the coffee kombucha, heck yeah. Have you ever looked up making hominy? I have not. Well, maybe I did once. Like, I think I saw a video on it and I was like, oh, that's curious. I think the process is a bit like fermenting, but you're the expert. You'll have some. Heck yeah, Becky. I am definitely not the expert on hominy. I've seen one video on it. I think it was by, what was it, like Rose Red somebody or something? I think so. I don't know. Wasn't it like you put like some kind of powder or something on it? Yeah, like I said, I definitely don't know. I don't know anything about how to make hominy. Other than that, it's different than corn. You do something to corn and it turns it into hominy, and that could even be wrong. So, at any rate, let me see. Rose Red Homestead. That's probably it. I couldn't remember if it was Homestead or something else. New with fermenting and everything. I want to learn to make any fermentation. Well, lucky for you, I have a whole channel that's predominantly dedicated to fermentation, and I have playlist entitled Fermentation or Fermenting. I can't remember which one. Anyways, there's over 100 different videos in that playlist last time I checked, so there's obviously more. And you're in the right place. And you can also find me on Instagram. That's generally where I answer messages because I'm terrible at Facebook Messenger because I don't like it. So, okay, dumb question. Does the SCOBY pick up the coffee flavor? Like, should I have one for the tea? Yes, you want to keep it separate. You can't take a kombucha SCOBY, turn it into a coffee SCOBY, and go back. You can only go one way. So you definitely want to make sure to use separate for that. It's not interchangeable. I'm going to watch your playlist. Awesome. Southern Hillbilly. Hello. And also, there are no dumb questions. My table of three, there are no dumb questions. There are just questions. There are things that you don't know that you want to know. So feel free to ask anything you guys want to. I will answer anything I can. Otherwise, I will try and have a resource that can answer it for you. I just recently bought the Fermented Vegetable book. Heck yes. And I'm stoked to try out some of the recipes in it. That is honestly the best fermentation book. That's the best fermentation recipe book. I have yet to try a single recipe that I did not like in that book. That's the one with like the white and purple cover, right? I don't think it's in this room. I think it's in my pantry, but that's the one, right? It's my favorite. Favorite is the best fermenting recipe book ever. Well, I guess that name works too. Yep. Oh, Suburban Hillbilly. I said it wrong, didn't I? Sorry. I have gathered the tools to start fermenting. Awesome. In Iowa and it's hot and my house is not air conditioned. Should I wait until closer to fall to start? If you don't have a cool enough area, I would say yes, because you'll just have frustrations. If you were more experienced, like maybe if you start in the fall and then next year you want to try something in the summer, maybe you'll find like cooler areas of your house or different techniques that you can use to keep things a little bit cooler. But I would imagine, I think Iowa gets pretty toasty in the summer, right? And if you don't have air conditioner or some sort of temperature control, it's going to be a really big struggle and you might not want to continue with it. So yes, I would say yes. Probably want to wait. I mean, you could try on a small scale, like maybe just try it and dip your toe in, see how you like it. And then kombucha is a good one that you could probably do because kombucha likes warmer weather. It likes like 80 degrees or so. I made one ferment honey garlic. Can it be used as medicine? Yes, I need that book and I will watch the videos. I should say I'm not a trained medical professional, but the people of the internet say yes. How about that? I made the SCOBY for my coffee kombucha upcoming video. Awesome. Let me see. It's probably not a good idea to try in Georgia then. It's very humid and hot here. If you have air conditioner or a cool area, that would be great. I'm not sure if I can get a specific coffee SCOBY. No, you turn a kombucha SCOBY into a coffee SCOBY, but you just can't go backwards. Like you can't turn like once you make it a coffee one, you can't go back to kombucha. At least that's my understanding. I understand that. I just appreciate you. Awesome. I appreciate you guys too. Let me see. I just purchased my kombucha kit. A kit? What do you mean a kit? Is it like come with like the jar and all the stuff that you need with it? Also purchased a sourdough kit and just ordered fermenting bottles. What books are you talking about? I just got here. We were talking about a book called Fermenting Vegetables. It's my favorite recipe book. If you are just getting started with kombucha and sourdough, I would like to remind you or let you know you don't want to keep those in the same room together. The yeasts will cross over and it'll start to become kind of weird. So, like, you keep the sourdough in kind of not a cold area, but you want to pick the cooler room for that. That is not the restroom. And then you want to put the kombucha in whichever area is a little bit warmer. You don't want it to be hot, but just warmer. In case you didn't know that. Figured I'd tell you. Because you don't mention both in the same message. So, yeah. Anywhoser. Last year I did a collaboration called Fall into Sourdough, and that was for the month of September. And for anybody who would like to know, I'm not doing it again this year. The main reason for it is I don't have the time, and the secondary reason is I haven't made sourdough since last September. So I feel like if anybody else wants to take over the collaboration, they're more than welcome to. But I ain't doing it, and I'm not participating in it. So just figured I'd let you guys know, because my sister asked me about that the other day in Marco, and I think I forgot to actually tell her, no, I'm not doing it, because she is doing sourdough. So she wants to take over the collaboration. Tiffany, you want to take over the collaboration? You can have your first collaboration. That is not the restroom. You really have to tell grown people that this. I don't know if I have to, but I do, just in case. Some people are like, oh, I'll just put it in the cupboard. I don't know if I have to. Hosting Souptember again in September. Awesome. I'm not doing any collaborations for a while, though. I got too overwhelmed with collaborations. So I'm not doing anything. I can't. My schedule's too sporadic to be able to commit to any particular day on anything. So, how'd the Ava Farmers Market go this week was actually really good. I was shocked. I almost didn't even go because I was like, oh, it's 4th of July weekend. It's going to be super slow. And then like, it was actually pretty decent. I was happy with it. This is what got me the courage to start sourdough. No, you forgot to answer me. I don't think I'm qualified for that. Who cares if you're qualified? Like I was qualified. I don't even make sourdough. You just find people who do know how to make sourdough. I mean, I know how to make sourdough, but it's definitely like I don't eat gluten and I don't cook. So I don't cook with glutinous things. So I'm on day 5 now. So a couple days still to go. Awesome. I'm making a video. I'll post it fully done. Cool. I hope I remember to check it out because I suck at watching YouTube. I kind of have come to the realization that you can either make YouTube or consume YouTube. And I prefer to make it. So I don't watch very much at all. I watch topical YouTube videos. Like right now, I'm trying to learn how to kind of make better videos and grow my I tore off a piece of my it's not a word. It's a giant scab because I was digging dirt and I just like ripped off a piece of my skin. So that's what that is. But like right now I'm trying to look into like growing my channel and, you know, how to make better videos and kind of, you know, just all that sort of thing. And then just whatever project I'm working on. Like, I've been watching some videos on kombucha, obviously, because I had abysmal failure, like epic amounts of failure with my kombucha. And then just looking at videos and stuff like that. So I don't like just mindlessly watch YouTube, or I don't like scroll through to find things. Like if I'm on YouTube, like I'm looking for something specific. So place 2 quarts of dry field corn in an enamel pan, add 8 quarts of water and 2 ounces of lye. Boil that lye, that's what it is. Boil vigorously for 20 to 30 minutes and allow to stand for 20 to 30 minutes. So yeah, definitely not fermentation, but it's a cool process. I think it is another way to break down the food to make it more digestible, I think, that's my understanding. We have lives outside of YouTube. Exactly. I don't really. Well, I do, but you know, almost everything else I do outside of YouTube is ultimately for YouTube. So I'm a boring one. Let's go be on top. I'm going to keep it in second hotel just for the coffee. Yes, I am working, so if I missed a question, sorry. No worries. Everybody's just doing what they can do. But yeah, once I get my kombucha recovered, I'm definitely doing a SCOBY hotel, so I don't have to do this again. Boston Rocks is not an MA. She's an MO. Lives away from here, yeah, right? I found you through Cassandra. Oh my gosh, I love Cassandra. She is so cool. Oh my goodness, she's been a huge inspiration for me. Like I think she found my channel, if I'm not mistaken, and she was commenting on some of my fermenting stuff. And then I clicked on her because I was like, "Who's this girl?" And so I clicked on her, and I like totally just like her videos were just like, oh, blew my mind. And like she's actually been a bit of an inspiration for my new style. I was just like, I really like that. How can I like it almost freed me up to kind of figure out what my own style was. But yeah, who doesn't love Cassandra? I ain't met nobody who doesn't love Cassandra because she's freaking amazing. Nick, what are you saying? Nixtamalization. I don't know what you're saying. Makes the vitamins in the corn bioavailable. When Europe first imported corn, they did not import the nixtamalization of the natives, and many poor became seriously deficient. That makes total sense. Say, Cassandra's awesome. Heck yeah. You and Cassandra are both awesome. Well, thank you. You're awesome too. I think everybody's awesome. Well, that's probably not true, but there are a lot of awesome people, especially in this live chat. The use of lime water to treat corn before they cook with it. Yeah, I just don't know how to pronounce it. Yay, YouTube, ID'd you from me. Hid? Is that what you meant? Did you mean hid? I'd. Hello, Charlie. Oh, you're probably, I haven't seen your name for a while, so they probably didn't suggest my things to you. That's probably what you're saying. Boston is my very favorite band. There you go. I'm sure I've heard Boston songs, but I wouldn't know one. I wouldn't know it until I heard it. Did you say SCOBY Hotel? Please explain what that is. Ours keep multiplying. Basically, it's you make like a batch of kombucha and you can add in your extra scobies to it, and it just keeps fermenting. You change it out like every 6 months or so, and it just keeps growing and growing scobies. So it's basically a way to have extra scobies without having to have like a ton of jars. And it's something that you can do with your extra scobies. You can put them in there. It's like a holding cell, because you don't want to put scobies in the refrigerator. It's really bad for it, and ultimately they'll pretty much never recover from it. So you just keep it like in a perpetual batch of kombucha that you just change out like every 6 months or so. That's my understanding of it. What is becoming a farm girl is Cassandra's channel. Yes, Boston. Nick's. That's not helping hand. I'm sorry. That's too many syllables. I'm not going to try. I watch YouTube to learn awesome things. I would all out die of a heart attack if I had to try to make a video, though. Nah, it's not that hard. It's pretty simple. It's just getting over the nerves of it in the beginning, and then it's just kind of like, meh. It's just what I do, you know. I think I've been doing it for June was, I think, my 5th year. So I'm in year number 5, or I've been doing it for 5 years. I don't remember, but long time. Cornmeal is ground corn. Masa is treated corn that was dried and ground. I love learning all the food things. It is fun to learn the food things, but pronunciation I'm okay with. Camera shy. I was too. I was very camera shy. Good luck finding many pictures of me as an adult. I don't know where it came from. I just all of a sudden I was like, I guess I'm going to make a YouTube channel. And then I spent 6 months making videos before I finally posted my first one, because I worked incredibly more than full time as a restaurant manager. And so I was like, I know I'm going to get busy and I'm going to get pulled away during certain seasons. So I wanted to get like this stockpile of videos built up. Thankfully, I did that, because many of my first ones sucked so bad I didn't even post them. They were so bad. Not that mine are great or anything, but those ones were exceptionally terrible. I just made some of Cassandra's homemade mayonnaise and it's the bomb. I agree. Yes. Was that her, did she do a fermented one? I can't remember if she did a fermented one too. But yeah, I love fermented. Just add a little bit of booch to it instead of the vinegar. It's so good. And you let it ferment on the counter for like 5 days. People are like, oh my gosh, you're going to die. And it's like, no, you're not. There's not potatoes in here to make me sick. So I'm not gonna, you make great. Thank you, Charlie. I appreciate that. Yes, the fermented one. Yep. I love it. It gives it just like that extra level of just like, that's so good. I think Cassandra used whey. It's entirely possible, but which is, you could totally do that. I think when I made it with mayonnaise. I made mayonnaise with mayonnaise. That's exactly what I did. I made it with kombucha, I think, because that's what I had on hand. It's been a hot minute since I made any. I was camera shy, but Anna made me do it. Yes, I did, actually. I twisted her arm for like 2 years until she finally caved in, and I put her on the roster for Fermented February 2022, and I was like, you're starting a YouTube channel. It's now or never. Or it's now, or I'm going to keep bugging you. And then she did. I bugged her for like 2 years, I swear. I used some of my fermented tomatoes brine. I don't like fermented tomatoes. They're not good. I like fermented salsa, but I don't like I tried fermented cherry tomatoes, and it wasn't like a bad flavor. I'm sure there are people who like it and like it a lot, but it just wasn't for me. It wasn't my thing. I didn't care for it. I was pretty real in the video that I made about it. I was just like, this is very unique, but probably not for me. Could you use sauerkraut brine? You absolutely could. Anything fermented, you can use. Well, maybe within reason. Anything that has lacto fermented or like acetic acid, stuff like that. Anything that's acidic you could use. If they were your videos, they were wonderful. I'd love to see the early ones. That is not happening. That is not happening. No. They were so bad and so bleh. Like, because like people don't realize like you really have to be like an extra level of peppy to where anybody watching behind the cameras is just like, what is wrong with this girl? Just in order for you to come across as a normal human being. And I didn't know that in the first few videos that I made. So yeah. Thank goodness for good channels. I appreciate you guys. We appreciate you too. Chicken. I'm not a chicken. I just don't care to subject the world to boring me because I was just being normal and it doesn't come across as normal when you're making a video. So one thing about YouTube though is also helped me come out of my shell. Like I've become much more of an upbeat kind of person. You made me on. Well, you're going to make me on because you just said that, because I am incredibly susceptible to the contamination of yawns or contagion. I don't know how you say it, but yawns are very contagious for me. So all you have to do is say it and I'll eventually do it. And then get mad at you for saying it. That's generally how I roll. Coffee in my favorite mug in the entire world. It's the best shaped mug ever existed. So, what are some fermenting projects that you guys have in the works, or what are some things that you want to see me do? That might be an interesting one. Can't stay hidden by just commenting. I can stay hidden by just commenting. Yep, unless you have a sister who's bugging you to do it. And I would like to also point out that she's glad that I bugged her for it because she really enjoys it now. That's a nice mug, isn't it? A Good Life Farm. It's retro because she changed her name back to Cosmopolitan Cornbread. So it's one of like 50. True story. See, there you go. I knew she would love it. She just had to do it. And then she did it. And then she loved it. So what would you guys like to see me ferment on my channel or other types of videos? What would you be interested in seeing? Your videos are very informative. I also like that they are real. Heck yeah. It's a good channel also. Heck yeah. I would totally use that mug for everything I do too. I bought 3 of them. One of them broke and it made me really sad. Well, the handle broke and I now have a handleless mug. Well, it's not handleless. The handle is inside of the mug. I just don't use it. Salsas. I'm going to be doing some salsa videos. Can you ferment eggplant? Probably, but I don't like eggplant. So I'm not sure if I'd be willing to go down that road, but maybe. I've got an abundance of them right now, the Japanese kind. Fermented salsa. I love fermented salsa. And canned salsa. It's really good too. But if I ever get my hands on some eggplant and something, I've never heard of fermenting eggplant, so I'm not sure what I would do with it. I have 4 eggplants growing, so maybe if they ever, well, I have 4 eggplants that are not growing. They are just sitting there the same size as they were when we planted them, and they're not doing nothing. I need ferments to use as condiments on chicken. I love ferments as condiments and as side dishes. All sorts of volumes of food. Ferments are what's up. Fermented sauces are the bomb. Yep. Are fermented strawberries good besides strawberry vinegar? See, the problem I have with fermenting fruit, okay, is that it's not sweet anymore. Like, because the you have to ferment it for a very short time, and typically you need to add some sort of a starter culture to get it going in the right direction, because it's of the yeasts that are on the fruits, they're so subject to going wonky. So I don't ferment fruit a whole lot. With fermented fruits, I generally make drinks out of them. Like I'll make like shrubs or switchels or flavor kombucha or water kefir, milk kefir, stuff like that. That's generally where I use the fruits because it's just there's no sweetness left to it when you ferment it. Otherwise, you have to ferment it for a very short time. Yes, wine also. I want to learn to ferment salsa. I think I do have a fermented salsa video. It's an older video, but I will be making a fermented salsa video this year. Pickling red onions, that is also a video I plan on doing this summer. Does fermented fruit turn into wine? Yes, it does. Is there such a thing as fermented salad dressings? There sure is. You can use like instead of the vinegar, you could use like kombucha or like an active vinegar ferment, and then it basically becomes fermented. But you can also ferment it for longer, like with the fermented mayonnaise. Fermented fruit is called wine or vinegar. Yep, green salsa. Ooh, yes. We do have some tomatillos going, and I'm sure there's going to be some sort of salsa verde on the horizon. I'm not sure if it's going to be with tomatillos or green tomatoes. I'm not sure, but it will be here this summer. I want to make vinegar, not a wine. I need to watch. No, you don't need to watch my videos because I suck at making vinegar. You need to go over to Rain Country. Is it Homestead? I think it's just Rain Country. Heidi is thebomb.com when it comes to vinegar. She's the one you need to consult on that one. And she will answer any question you have if you email her because she's amazing. So definitely, I have made a couple batches of not that great vinegar. It's not my thing. It is not. It is something that I want to conquer. It's something that I want to learn how to do. But Rain Country Homestead is definitely, it is Homestead. Okay, that's what I thought. I don't know why I second guessed myself on that one. But yeah, so she's the one to consult on all forms of vinegar. She's actually one of the ones who originally inspired me to make ferments. Her and Stacy were the two that inspired me to get started with fermentation. So definitely look her up. She's amazing. Salsa verde, heck yes. Yes, Rain Country. Heck yes. My vinegar gets used in the laundry. That's a good idea. I usually use white vinegar. But I have a bunch of very, very, very over fermented kombucha. It was like a 3-month kombucha, and then I second fermented it, and I was just like, oh my gosh. Actually, now that I think about it, I could probably add a little bit of sugar and turn it into like a switchel sort of thing. Because yeah, it's real vinegar. It is just like, whoa. Made all kinds of vinegars from Heidi's videos. She has a whole playlist of vinegar making videos with hints and tips. I don't know if I ever looked for that, so that's good to know because it is something that I want to get into and something that I want to get better at because you can do so much with just scraps and things that you would normally just give to the chickens. You can make like vinegar out of it. Hope to learn to make vinegars too. I think it would be amazing in vinaigrettes. Yep. Like strawberry vinegar and like make a strawberry vinaigrette out of it or something. Like, heck yeah. I'm usually on YouTube with my family to do scripture studies. Recently, we talked about going off grid. I need to learn everything. There's quite a learning curve if you want to go off grid. Holy schmoly. That's the thing. My sister's off grid. There's a lot to it. I'm scared to say hot sauce because your level of heat is crazy, but I want to make a medium level hot sauce with some bomb flavor. That just depends on what, like you can cut anything with, like if you add, like if you substitute like half of the cayennes with like red peppers or something like that, you know, it'll definitely, it's a thing, see? It'll kind of cut the heat to it, and it depends on what type of chilies that you get, like what kind of peppers that you buy, like the intensity of those. Like obviously you want to make it with habaneros, but maybe you could tolerate jalapenos, you know. It's kind of just it depends on a lot. Jessica Three Rivers also makes great vinegars. She's awesome. I love her. Last year I did the every bit counts challenge. Is that the one that's in August? She does 2 challenges. One in January and optionally February, and then one in August. I think it's the Every Bit Counts challenge. Am I right on that one? I have some kombucha vinegar. Yep, it is vinegar. You can make vinegars that feed your scraps to the chicken after you strain it. Yep, exactly. And then you can help the chicken's gut health by giving them the vinegar. It's like a whole circle of life, cycle of life. Dang it, it's not helping. Anyways, but yeah, is it the Every Bit Counts challenge? Am I right on that one? In August, I did that last year. I still have the egg yolk Parmesan cheese in my fridge that I never took out of the cheesecloth. It's still in there. Maybe we'll do that in August video. I'll just be like, hey, you remember last year when I made this stuff? Let's taste test it because I haven't yet. That's my brain. I just leave it in there. Hubby stopped asking about it probably about 2 months after. He asked me a few times. He's like, what are you going to do with that? And I was like, oh, I need to open it up. It's supposed to be like cheese. And I thought he was going to do it. And then I found it like 2 weeks ago and it was in the back of the fridge. And I was like, oh, it's still in here. Refeeding my chickens the scraps after straining. My dad made wine and fed the skins to the cows, drunk cows. Yep, we've had drunk chickens a few times. That's definitely a thing. It is. They definitely can experience the alcohols as well. We have pigs now though, and hubby is feeding the pigs the leftover grains after well no the yeast and stuff. He strains out the grains before he ferments it, so there's no alcohol in it. But recently he strained out like all the extra yeast and stuff that's just kind of settles at the bottom, and he gave it to the pigs. But I wasn't home when it happened, so I don't know what happened. Drunk chickens, heck yeah. That's funny. That's too funny. I've never heard that before. Yep, it happens. I don't know of an animal that doesn't have an alcohol receptor ability. They can definitely be pretty funny. Most definitely. Alrighty. It is 8:17, and I think I'm gonna have to bounce just a little bit early today because I have to get ready for the festival tomorrow. I don't want to do it in the dark. It gets dark and creepy out there, and there's like cougars and mountain lions and raccoons and armadillos armed with leprosy. And so, anyways, I only have like half hour left of daylight, if that. Honestly, I think it's almost dark out there, and I got to get ready for the festival and load up the coolers and do all kinds of fun stuff. So, I think I'm gonna have to let you guys go a little bit early today, just a little bit. So keep your ideas flowing. If you guys have any ideas of videos and stuff that you'd like to make, leave it in all the comments, whether it's on this video or other videos or anything like that. I'm definitely always open to suggestions, and I like to get to them as soon as I can, at least at the timeline that the squirrels up here allow me to. So she's doing it in July. Every Bit Counts challenge? She's doing it early? I thought it was in August. I don't know. But anyways, I wish there was at the festival. I wish I was there for the festival. Yeah, it's going to be. Oh, yeah, it's just like a small town fireworks kind of thing. It's nothing huge. It's just going to be a good time. I'm basically just going there to hang out with friends. So anyways, I will see you guys later. And, peace out, sauerkraut.